Welcome, everybody. Anthony here with the Bulbaritos, bringing you a brand new live stream. And today, Burrito Gang, we are diving in to Age of Empires Mobile, and we're going to be talking about some controversial stuff. And I know people have been asking for honest reviews and stuff like that. And most recent dev column came out, and we're going to talk about it. I've been watching some videos from some of the other fellow content creators. I've been watching all their content, seeing kind of what their vibe is with the current state of the game and patch note reviews and all those kinds of deals. And you'd be surprised, I actually have a difference of opinion when it comes to a couple of the videos. So it's not to say that anybody's wrong or anything like that, but we're here to strike up a conversation. I'm here to hear y'all's opinions. We're going to chat about it, go back and forth, make this a dialogue, because it is an important thing. There are a lot of questions floating around, and we want to kind of get into it. I'm going to give you all a little behind the scenes, and it's going to be, y'all can ask your questions, do all that kind of stuff, and we're going to kind of dive deep into it today. So give me 1 second. I'm gonna let some people float in. Let me fire some music up. Let me get a hat because my head looks like absolute dog doo-doo, and then we'll get going. All right, let me see. All right, get a hat. Oh, I got a new hat today. Got a new hat a couple days ago. A little Spurs. Woo. And then we got a little more light in the background. Let me know what y'all think of the background. If y'all like it, don't like it. Red, how's it going, buddy? Good to see you, my friend. We're gonna let a couple more people load in, and then we'll start the conversation because I know that there's gonna be a lot of convo. I did watch Sig's video where he went through. I wasn't able to make the live stream, but I did watch his video, kind of doing the patch notes review. And then I watched Sneaky's video on the Halloween event, and they all kind of tie in together, right? So we are going to talk about is aoem dead. We're gonna talk about talking points, issues in the game right now, pros, cons. We're going to touch on the patch notes themselves. I'm going to give y'all kind of an overview, like there's been a lot of patch note review videos already, so I'm not going to do the detailed walkthrough of each and every point and read through them and all that, but I do have an opinion on certain points that do not coincide with what other CCs think, and it's not in a bad way where I disagree with their opinion. It's more kind of a addition to what they're thinking. So it'll be an interesting combo today, so make sure y'all load in, send the link out, and yeah, we're gonna be rocking and rolling. I might have to make a couple of tweaks onto the live stream here in a minute, and then I'll move the chat bar and all that kind of stuff on the stream, and then we'll get rocking and rolling. But how's y'all's weekend? How's y'all's day going so far? I like the lights, but that doesn't look like a Detroit Lions or Detroit Pistons hat. Nah, it's Los Sperms. Look, Los Sperms. Hold on. Look, Los Sperms. That's the Tower of the Americas building in San Antonio. And then we have the Flying Chanclas. Oh, here, I guess y'all can't really see it, right? There you go. So it's like think of it like the Space Needle, but this would be our variation of like the iconic building outside of the Alamo in San Antonio. It's the tower. All I know is I'm free to play, very low spender now, currently ranked #1 in my server. By the way, I love the DD video with Sig watching you. And your castle is in the perfect spot. I wish I could have live streamed more, to be honest with you, because there were a lot of things that we did that are kind of meta breaking. I'm not gonna lie to you. Let me see if I can show y'all real quick while we're chilling here, waiting for some more people to load in. Make sure y'all share the stream out if y'all haven't already, because we are gonna be flaming. We are gonna be patting on backs. We're gonna be doing a lot of stuff today. It's going to be a jam-packed kind of stream. I'm not going to stretch this one out, but we are going to be loading it in. If you enjoy these kinds of streams, do me a huge favor. If you haven't already, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hold on, I took a picture of it. Where is it at? Oh, bro, check this out. Check this out, chat. Tell me that's not absolutely cooked. You ready for it? Look at that. I'm going to leave it right there for a second because I want you to look very closely at this picture. Did you know that you can lay, an air dock inside of the city? Bro. Talk about absolutely like, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's not a thing, but somehow it was a thing. Somehow it was a thing. So yeah, it was pretty awesome. This game's not broken at all. All right, fam. Let me see. All right, so let me switch over real quick. I need to bring up the Discord. All right, hold on. Let me bring up Discord. I just need this. That way I don't need to hear no bitching and moaning, bro. No bitches and moaners, bro. All right. Hold on. Let me bring... All right, give me 1 second here. Need to go to dev column. All right, let me move some stuff around real quick. Where's the chat at? Hold on. Hold up, wait a minute. Let me lock some stuff real quick. And then we'll get rolling here in a minute. If y'all have questions or statements about stuff, I am going to be rolling this into a video. So if you do have questions that you want me to answer, feel free to post them. Because this is going to be a spicy tamale today, boys. All right, let me see. Hands in front. Where's the chat at though, fam? All right, we'll wait for it. Ashu, how are you rank 1 if you were free to play? Oh, you're asking Sky. I was like, huh? I'm trying to see real quick if the chat is working before I start this thing. Because I don't want it to come over the video. See it. All right, that's fine. If we see it, then let me know, and then Then we'll figure it out. All right. Let me get here. All right, fam. So today, wanted to fire it up because we had the brand new dev column come out. We have a lot of things going on behind the scenes. And so we are going to talk about state of the game, how it pertains to dev column, pros, cons, all that kind of stuff, what's going on. I've been watching a lot of the CC videos pertaining to this, current Halloween events, future updates, all that kind of stuff. And we're going to answer the age-old question, is aoem dead? So make sure, if y'all haven't already, put your questions in there, and we'll try to get to as many as we can. But starting off hot topics. All right, first things first, dev column came out a couple days ago. I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but there are points that I do want to say, both good and bad. And then kind of piggybacking, that way we're not regurgitating what Sagarum said and what Sneaky said, but kind of adding to it, because I do think, I will preface this, we'll start off with the good. I do think that they are making progress. Okay, after reading some of the dev notes, hearing some of the points of view, all that kind of stuff, they are making progress. Okay, so we'll go through it. I'm going to give you all some additional feedback on top of what all the other CCs have said. And if you have other feedback as well, I'd love to hear it. And we'll kind of walk our way through this dev column real quick. Okay, so first things first, here we go. We're going to start off with, they really kicked this off pretty easy and coming out hot. So event rewards in terms of quantity and value are gradually falling behind in the current game environment. We hope that event item reward outputs are optimized to match the consumption rate of resources in the current game environment. All right, rewards, hot button topic. Okay, let's get into it. Okay, we just saw the chat. I think Botrix just connected. Okay, give me 1 second. Let me move this thing real quick. That way we aren't seeing the chat overlay over all the images. Let's move it over here. There you go. There we go. Okay. You're good. All right. So their answer to this question was, and this is a hot button topic, right? Our team has noticed governor's extensive feedback regarding event rewards and has already begun making adjustments. In the next version, we'll adjust the merit store first. The merit store reset time will be adjusted to 1 stellar glory season, limited to servers in season 2 and beyond, giving governors more time to accumulate merits in exchange for items in the store. Due to the extended reset time, the exchange limits for various items in the store will also increase, while the merits reset time will also be extended. New items will also be added to the store, such as healing speed ups. Okay, first things first, I like it. Okay, it's something we've been asking for. I know other CCs have already said it. We've kind of given them their applause. I would say this. I'm okay with this. And I like that they've directly targeted the merit store, but I will say this, okay? Y'all know me, right? This does not address, and if you know the devs well enough, like we know, if they do not verbally say it in writing, it is not a thing, right? So in their question, right, in the question, it was talking about reward outputs, okay? The only thing, and this is where my opinion differentiates from other CCs, right? I know Sig kind of gave it its 2 applause and said he's happy for it. I'm happy for this, right? But this is like 2% of the issue right now. This only addresses the most, like the gum on the bottom of our shoes. That's how minimal this is. Honestly, this is a pro, this is a positive. But the issues that we are having is that Wonder Contest, this doesn't address any of this. The Wonder Contest still has some of the best rewards for the least amount of work that doesn't cost our accounts anything, right? DD still absolutely cripples everybody's accounts and gives us almost next to nothing, right? It does give you some legendary medals, and you get some whistles, but woohoo, you know what I mean? Who gives a shit? And every other KVK needs to be adjusted, right? All of them need to be adjusted. The scaling for rewards is cooked. It's still cooked. And this answer does not address the scaling problems inside of Age of Empires Mobile. So I applaud them for this, but this is a band-aid on a bullet hole, on a cannon hole as of right now. So I want to give them kudos, but this doesn't address the overarching problem, which is not just the merit store, right? That is probably the least important option out of all the other reward systems that we go through. We go through account killing KVK modes on a weekly basis that give us worse rewards than we probably will get from the merit shop now. Let that sink in. So y'all let me know what y'all think. I do like the progress, right? But this is a quality of update answer. This is not a, let me announce this to the world, you know, let's celebrate me. This isn't that big of an update for me personally. I like that they are adjusting it, but there's so many other adjustments for rewards throughout the entire game. And we will touch on to other things as well, as we get into state of the game, that need to be fixed. The merit shop is just one thing out of like 20 issues and rewards inside of aoem. Let me see. Are you in season 6? I lost 1.5 million troops just fighting that DD, and I'm sure the rewards I got nowhere come near recovering that. Exactly right. Add a couple healing speed ups, woohoo. But that is kind of where our opinions are going to differ a little bit between me and the other CCs. It's a work in progress. It's still progress, but I don't think it's enough. I think this is one of those things that this should have been done, you know, a week into the game launch, not 12 months after game launch. Okay. All right, so let's move into the next one. Pretty much there's going to be like 4 really painful statements or question and answers that we're going to kind of touch on for the most part. Mercenary technology, I won't get too deep into this one because I know that it is something that Sir Arm talked about extensively, has done videos on, all that kind of stuff. This is a good fix if it is addressed in everything, okay? It's one of those things, like, this is a quality of life update. This should not be in the dev column. This should be in a quick hot fix notification that we get in the email, you know, current issues in game, boom, 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 working on, in progress. Like, I don't care about a dev column. We know what the issues are, right? You telling us you now know what the issues are doesn't make sense, right? We plan to optimize mercenary technology, take effect, optimizations. Fantastic, right? The issue that I have, and I know that Cigarm kind of brought it up, and I'm not going to go too deep into it. I'm just going to piggyback on it. I still don't think what they're going to do is enough. I think once again, this is a band-aid on a cannon hole, right? You're getting a whole cannon hole blown through you, and they're putting a band-aid on it. When one player, right, and it's not just Satesi. I know everybody in comments or whatever, when I cut this into a video, is going to put Satesi. It's not just Satesi. When they one march swarm a city and zero it, That makes no sense. The logic in the game makes no sense. That should not be a thing when the player is a Kraken 140. There's no reason that should ever happen. And so I know that Sagram brought up the idea of adding in tech. I also think there needs to be additional buffs on top of that. They need to switch out the stuff, not just research and tech, but the game itself for swarms should be adjusted. There's no way, and I don't want it, don't get me wrong, I don't want it nerfed, right? Because that is a battle mechanic that is across all of this genre of games. Swarming is a thing, right? But the thing is, right, in most other games, right, in Rock, you know, in other games like that, it's gonna take a Kraken all of their marches to swarm a city, and they are gonna get wrecked, right? What I need y'all to understand is this. When I was streaming, okay, when I was streaming, or well, correction, when I was recording, right, lulz, aka delayed streamer, when I was recording the 42 flag fighting, okay, there's something that I need to note, right? I was posting shorts. Y'all saw the short where she was swarming the rally and getting melted, okay? Here is the behind the scenes stuff that I didn't, like, in a short is going to be 10 seconds, 15 seconds. I don't need it 5 minutes long, right? If y'all want to see it, then I can post it in the Discord. I can always do that. I have no problems doing any of that. What you didn't see, right, was the swarm report, right, afterwards, okay? So yes, Sessi 5 March swarmed this rally and got nuked, okay? The part that you didn't see is she only lost 5,000 troops in a march. So she was losing on average around 25K troops between her 5 marches swarming. Just let that sink in. One player 5 March swarming an entire rally and only losing 25,000 troops. The mechanic itself makes no sense, right? Whether they fix what they're talking about for the optimizations, those percentages make no sense. You should be getting absolutely punished in the deads to severely wounded. The percentages need to be flipped. There is no reason that somebody should be swarming like that and taking 5K deads, because what happens is, right, when you have 90 million troops, 25K is nothing, right? She can send 15 times and die, and she's only going to lose 200K, right? Which is nothing. And so there needs to be a percentage shift in some sort. Where the technology is not going to do that. It is a in-game issue that needs to be addressed. It is addressing the cannon hole, not with the band-aid, because the band-aid is what they are offering right now. The issue is the in-game mechanics need to be switched, percentage-wise tested, because swarming, you should be a viable option, but you should be punished for it. There is no reason why one player should be able to do that solo, just nonstop. And if you did watch any of the live streams from Cigarm or anybody, it can be nonstop if you do the strategy of the bandage camp. The way that we were doing it, the way that eventually 40 was doing it on one of the other flags. It wasn't as close as ours, but when you have bandage camps, all of your marches, and you just keep coming out, you can do that nonstop. She'll lose 1 million troops and be fine, but the objective is secured, kind of deal. So it's one of those, it needs to be reworked slightly percentage wise, because there's no reason it should be happening. You're true. If they're flipped, it will make a Kraken whale think twice before. Yeah. Hey, Sin, how's it going, buddy? So if y'all have questions or comments, anything, opinions on any of these things, put them in the chat. I'll address them. I'll give a little shine to them, and then we'll kind of go from there. All right. That's the end of that first one. Next one. Here we go. Let me see if we're going to address this one. All right. I have a different point of conversation for this. Okay. I'm not going to read through all this. I know Sagram's already gone through this, but this is the question about, will there be any news about a new migration period? What changes will migration events have? That's a fantastic question, right? Their answer gives absolute jack shit for answers. And this is a problem that all the CCs have been asking. This is a problem, right? There are so many other questions that stem from that one question that we've been asking since last migration that do not get even acknowledgement in their answer. We get the corporate answer to our question. We don't even get an answer, right? The only answer that we actually get, right, is congratulations, beta is going to be free. So this whole, almost this entire answer is going to help maybe what, 100 players. So while I want to be happy for them, and I am happy for them if you are a beta, right? I don't give a shit, right? How does that pertain to 98% of the player base that we're talking about in aoem, right? I'm happy for beta, don't get me wrong. I'm happy Sig can get his account out. I'm happy Lou and all these guys can get their accounts out. I just really hope they don't get zeroed first, Stellar. Oh man, how funny would that be if they literally get out and get zeroed? Oh Lord. So most of this answer I don't care about, right? I don't personally care about the admin part, right? Is that good? Sure, that's good for the 300 people that are going to be admin. That's good, cool, right? If you're going to be an admin, it's good for you, right? What it doesn't address, you ready for it? The big hitting questions, the only things that we care about in the community, in my opinion. When is it going to be, right? Telling me in December doesn't tell me jack shit. There are 30 days in December, right? I don't know how we don't know a date already, right? What are the date ranges, right? What are the date ranges? What are the groups? You know, what is it going to cost? You know what I mean? All these things are important. They're super important because guess what? The last time they had the absolute dumpster fire timing, right? Inside of Stellar. So did you address that? Right? This question doesn't answer that. Did you address it? Is it still in the middle of Stellar? Because I can tell you right now, December is going to fall in the inside of Stellar, right? We can check out the times, but I'm pretty damn sure that Stellar is still going to be going on in December, which means migration is going to happen in December. It's going to happen inside of Stellar. So that tells me that that hasn't been addressed, right? The pricing, there's nothing in here about pricing, whether it's changed. Did they fix thresholds? Did they fix the sheer amount? Are they removing free migration? Because let's be perfectly honest with you, right? And I think most of y'all in chat would agree with me. Free migration was an absolute dog water idea. It just doesn't make any sense. Doesn't, right? And then of course, groups, right? What are the groups? People need to plan. Kingdoms want to plan. They want to start recruiting people. You telling them a week before doesn't give people a lot of time to do any recruiting. Right? And those are the questions that everybody wants to know. I don't really care about beta. I don't care about all this stuff. Is it nice? Sure. If you're in beta. If you're an admin, is it good? Cool. Right? But outside of this doesn't help, right? That's where this gives me confusion is this last comment. Additionally, the range of servers eligible for migration events will be expanded. After the next migration event, Kingdom servers and Empire servers will be able to freely match each other in the same battle zones during Stellar Glory. Well, if we're in the middle of Stellar Glory, I assume they're going to talk about the next variation of Stellar, which would be afterwards, because we'll probably be doing migration in the middle. But what does that look like? Right? What happens if like they already have problems matching in beta, right? So adding in the beta servers into matchmaking doesn't help anything. It doesn't help anything. Because if you've looked, like when Lou and all these guys start talking about their beta stellars and kvks, it's like the same two servers fighting all the time. Everybody else is dead, so who cares? Don't even add them to matchmaking. What they should have done is just let them force migrate. If your account, if you don't migrate your account, you're getting sent to Realm 1. And then kill off all the beta servers. Don't even leave them in there. Don't even leave them in there, because then there's a lot more other questions that come in pertaining to event alignment, version alignment inside of game, all these kinds of deals that if they align or if they don't, right? They should not monetize migration. They don't have to make money from migration. So I honestly don't agree with that thing, because, and this is just my opinion, right? If you don't put a price on migration, everybody will freely move and your matchmaking will get cooked, right? I don't know a single game that gives away free migration, right? Without some sort of cost, right? In Rock, you can earn passports, you can earn alliance currency, then you can buy passports, do stuff like that. Those are alternative options, and that I can understand, I agree with. But there should be a cost for an exchange for a passport, right? I also think that aoem has the cheapest migration in any city builder in this genre. So saying it needs to be cheaper is actually kind of insane, to be honest. It's the cheapest migration you're gonna see. The fact that a 40-50 mil is migrating for like $15 is wild, right? And if you're free to play and you want to migrate, right? If you don't want to spend, then don't, right? But you're not migrating then. Or you're gonna have to wait 4 or 5 cycles, stop growing in power, and then migrate. And that's just the way it's gonna go. But yeah, migration still has to cost something, in my opinion, because then it's going to cause massive imbalance, and that's a problem. I do think that they should remove the idea of groups 100%. If they aren't going to remove it, then they need to make a large pool, not a bunch of small groups. So it should be group Empire 1 through Empire 165 is one group. And then group 2 is 166 through 320. Y'all get the idea. But the groups should be large enough where it allows access for, if you're in Kingdom 34 and you want to go to 72, you can. You have no boundaries on being locked outside of, you can't migrate all the way back and start dominating everybody, if that makes sense. The small groups only make sense, in my opinion, is if you are going to have reoccurring migrations every stellar, because the idea that y'all suck, and I'm pointing at you devs, y'all suck at making groups, and now we have to wait for 9 months, 6 months for another migration is insane to me, right? I want to play with my friends. You shouldn't be the person that's gatekeeping me from doing that. Unless I am going to deliberately go in and break and ruin the game experience by going from Empire 42 to Empire 320 with my King Arthur, whatever. You get the idea of what I'm talking about, right? But within reason, you should be able to move wherever you want to go to. You shouldn't be locked by the 6 empires that they themselves designated, and now you have to, if you don't find any, you're cooked for the next 6 months. That I don't like. Okay. All right, let me move on. So that's the point I would say about that. We hope some classic side gameplay from the past, such as Battlefield Survivor, can be brought back. Okay. This is kind of a reoccurring pain point. I don't want to beat this dead horse. What their answer to this question, right? And I won't read the answer. Y'all can see it. Perfectly illustrates that the devs and the CMs, community managers, have zero pulse on the community. And I've said this before, I'll say it again. this statement right here, this whole statement that you're looking at right now, just confirms that the devs and the CMs either one, right, don't play their own fucking game, right? And two, don't listen to any of the feedback the community is providing, because they keep thinking that Battlefield Survivor is some, you know, God's blessing, that we're making rewards that is like insane. We're getting King Arthur from Battlefield Survivor. These rewards suck ass. They suck ass. We get a couple of speed ups. Congratulations. These aren't game-breaking rewards. They suck. Okay? The problem with this is that we are so hungry, right? We are so hungry for replayable content that it is the only thing that we have to beg for. Because here's another pain point. It's the only original AoEM content. Actually, it's not even original. I take that back. So I'll put my hands up. It's not even original content. It's the ripoff from the other game too. But it's replayable content, and that's the problem. We are so hungry for replayable content that the constant cry for Battlefield Survivor particularly is always going to be there, because we have nothing to do. We have nothing to do, and that is the point. That is why their statement blows me away, because it has nothing to do with what our complaint is, what our feedback it goes towards. And it's, we're bored as shit. We're bored as shit. If you're watching the CMs, if you're watching this dev, the answer should have been, we understand you're bored as shit. We will work on making more original content that you can replay over and over and over and over and over and over again, so that you can be excited to come be on aoem and stay for hours on end and play with your friends and be social. Bro, we have more fun. We have some communities like S40 having more fun playing longer durations of Among Us than aoem. And that's not a shot at it, right? It's a shot at aoem. Because instead of playing and having fun where their community was built, they're enjoying a whole other thing with one another, because they're actually having fun. Who would have fucking guessed? Who would have guessed? Wow. So that's where I'll leave that. That is the only thing I have to say about that. And that's being real with it. And then last but not least, we'll get into a couple of these. All right, let me see. All right, let me see. Let me see if there's any comments right now before we dive into these. Reminds me of Rock. Hell no, brother. Have you seen the Rock patch notes? Bro, hold on. Should I bring up the patch notes? Bro, the patch notes for fucking Rock are nuts, bro. Patch notes are telling me what percentages are being changed on skills, you know, what skills descriptions were adjusted because they were incorrectly written. We don't get any of that from aoem. We have to find out from random team members that are playing the game that are like, hey, this fucking hero's skill description got randomly changed. Nothing was said. What the fuck? Bro, that should never happen. That should have been in patch notes, like El Cid's skill description was incorrectly stated. We have furthermore adjusted due to in-game blah 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 blah, right? That is what should be adjusted, right? When they were adjusting the theme percentages, when people were asking, right, what is the theme percentage? That should have been in the update notes. Theme percentage equals boom 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 boom, right? It should have its own thing. It should be very simple, very very simple. If I go in to Destiny Rising right now and look at their patch notes, they are telling me what they're doing, exactly what's changing. They're not giving away the farm, right? I'm not telling them to give me their damage formula, right? What I am expecting is when I see a 3% attack buff And it's not like they found out that 3% wasn't being applied, that they pointed out and they let you know they worked on it and addressed the issue, and the 3% is now reflected inside of reports and blah, 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 blah. Right? We have noticed X, Y, and Z. Here's an example, right? We talked about it earlier, and this goes back to the swarming of rallies, right? We've noticed that the percentage of deads while swarming a rally was previously at an estimated 1.8%, right? The ratio, right? To further address it, we have increased it to 3.0%, right? We will keep our eyes on blah, 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 and further adjust it if needed in the future. Done. That is what I want to see. I'm not asking you to give me the formula for the swarm with X, Y, and Z, and I want to know what you've done to address the problem, not we've addressed the problem. Okay, thanks, right? That's the issues. Rockcom's descriptions, almost 2 pages, exactly, right? All right, here we go. Current matchmaking mechanism, is that the top one? Matchmaking mechanism is too unbalanced and needs to be improved. Okay, I'm not gonna read through this dog shit. I will tell you this right off the rip, right? None of this makes sense. I know that that people gave their applause because they addressed the matchmaking problem, right? And at least stated that there is a problem. The problem that I have is their answer isn't even what goes into matchmaking. And that is the problem. The misinformation is the problem. Okay. Let me find the exact statement that they say. Okay, here we go. It is the second sentence in this thing, right? I wish I could highlight it. The current matchmaking mechanism takes multiple factors into consideration, including but not limited to server active player count, time zones, total power, etc. I want you to explain to me, okay, devs, CMs, and I'll wait, right? I want to see the breakdown of what you all are seeing on your side that associates server 195 and aligns them against server 42. I'll wait. I would challenge them to show me how server 195 matches any of those criteria against server 42. Because I promise you they don't. They don't. They don't match in power. They don't match in activity. They don't match in anything. The only way, you ready for this? Ready for this? This is the mind fuck right here. The only way that these would line up is if they were taking such a small sample for matchmaking that everybody matches with everybody. What do I mean by that? Okay, here is it. Here's what I'll say. If you took the sample size between, I'm gonna throw server 35 and server 42, and took the sample size of the top 50 players, okay, top 50 and top 50 between each kingdom, they would be relatively close. All right. If you take the activity and the power of the top 150, they might be remotely close, but the gap is definitely bigger, right? If you take the pool for 500 players, the gap is so astronomically big, there is no reason they should be matched against one another. That is my point. What this is telling me is that they are taking such a small sample size for matchmaking. That is why their matchmaking is so fucking cooked. That is why it's cooked. Because that is the only explanation of why server 195 would ever match anybody. Because the reality is none of these things have anything to do with matchmaking. The community, bravo, the community, not the devs, not the CMs, are already established their own rationale behind how matchmaking works. And the reality is that statement that they make aligns better than anything that they've said in this dev column. And that is the positioning of your previous stellar is a direct correlation of who you have the possibility of aligning with in the following stellar. I would venture to say that 90% of matchmaking holds that into account. Not all of these things that they're stating. Not all of these things that they're stating. Hold on. Bro is delayed at reviewing for dev column also. Oh, Cree, I fucking hate you. Oh man, I hope you step on a bunch of Legos. Oh man, I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. I hope you fall in a bag of dildos. Give me 1 second. Bobo, what's going on, lizard? All right, let me see. Currently due to power gaps between players and powerful governors can even defeat multiple player rallied troops. We've already talked about this earlier, so I won't dive into it. What it does state is they're basically gonna take a band-aid, put it on a fucking crater, and say, YOLO, we did it. We talked about this earlier and all the issues with this. It's a letdown for me. I'm not gonna lie to you. Can you give us some spoilers about the future? You ready for this? Spoilers for the future. We're gonna have the same reskinned events. If you are hoping for new events, don't hope, right? You're about to get a Thanksgiving event followed by in less than a month. A month from then, you're getting your Christmas event and New Year's event. And then a couple weeks after that, you're getting your Chinese New Year's event. A couple of weeks after that, you're getting your Valentine's event. They will all be the same reskinned event, the same shitty rewards. There is your thing. They will all have cosmetics, and they will all have reskinned events. There you go. There's your announcement. In the next 6 months, we will also have brand new tech research, possible museum buffs, elephants, boats, dragons, and weapons possibly being introduced in the next 6 months, all of which have gear, RNG, and additional buffs. Also, the system that they were supposed to release with the breeding system, which if you saw us on test server, it was the one that correlated to 5-star heroes and 120 heroes that you would get additional buffs, troop capacity, all that kind of stuff. That was too free to play, so they had to walk it back. Will eventually get released, and then we'll see kind of how they cuck that up. So enjoy. So we're getting a bunch of events after another. It sounds pretty sweet to me. Free to play benefit a lot from the events, really. We're going to talk about that here in a minute. All right. Overall, here is the feeling. The issue that I have, right? Do I think this is a forward progress? I do, right? I know a lot of CCs have kind of said and agreed on that after reading these patch notes, that they're happy to hear that they're directly responding to some of the criticisms and suggestions that were provided by Cigarum and the CCs and all that kind of stuff. And I would frankly agree with that. Okay. Here's my thing. I'm not going to give you flowers and a pat on the back for something that you should have been doing since week 1 of launch. The reality of this is, while this is good, this is the absolute bare minimum that you are telling us. And what you are saying that you are going to work on and do, this is nothing. This is the bare minimum. This is, for those of y'all in the medical industry, this is a wellness check. When you walk into the doctor's office and they say, how are you doing? Are you sleeping? Have you changed your medications? When they ask you all those entry-level questions that have nothing to fucking do with what you're there for, that is what this is. This doesn't address any of the core problems in the game or even acknowledge that they are a problem in the game, and has zero transparency on that they are problems in the game that we are looking at fixing. None of it. And we are in the 13th month of this game. These are all issues that should have been solved 11 months ago. So I'm not going to give them kudos and praise and start, all over the knob, because this is sloppy, right? This is a bare essential that should have already been done when the core issues aren't even being addressed, right? They addressed 5% of the problems in the game, and the massive 95% still have not been acknowledged. Everything that they have acknowledged that Sagaram put in his list, I know for a fact has been in his list since like month 1 or 2 after launch. So the fact that it took them 10 months to directly respond to those specific issues, come on, let's be real. So do I think that aoem is dying? Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Why? Because they're too slow. They never are transparent, and they never address the actual problems in the game, right? They don't listen to the community feedback, even though they say they do. They don't, right? And then 5, bro, like, where's the community at, man? You're killing your own community. So here's the thing, right? Everybody says every game, like, and that's a valid comment. Every game dies. Okay. The issue that I have, right, is they didn't even develop the game. Right, Caleb? So the thing with aoem is none of this is original content. None of it. Right? This content has been developed over 3 years ago. They haven't developed jack shit. The only thing that they've developed in aoem Global are packs and bundles and reskin events. That is it. I'd be perfect. When you compare apples to apples with the CN version and aoem Global, the major downsides in aoem Global is literally does not exist in CN. The best parts of CN didn't even get copied over to Global. And that's the problem. That's the problem. They didn't develop shit, right? I could see if their development team was hard at work and they're like, guys, we hear you, right? Ready for this? I'm going to put my community hat on. You ready for it? Look, community hat, putting it on. Or I'm putting on my CM hat, my dev CM hat. Ready for this? aoem community, we've heard you loud and clear. We know that you want that old school feel and vibe of what Age of Empires used to give you, and Age of Empires 2, 3, 4. And so what we are excited to give you a sneak peek on, right? We're not going to release everything. Here's my marketing hat too. We are working on a offline mode or a reoccurring mode, right? Where we are going to take aoem 4, right? The mode that you can play, right? Where you're building and competing PvP. And we are going to modernize it. We are going to invest our time, energy, and effort into taking that, putting it inside of our mobile game, and allowing you with updated graphics to play a mode that you have come to love and learn and live with. Bro, people would be like soiling their shorts Everybody would be walking with half chubs because that would be the first thing that would ever resemble Age of Empires ever in AoEM. It's not that hard to come up with original content. The problem that it is they have no creativity right now because all they're doing is they are code copiers, not developers. And that is the problem. There is a difference. That's like saying when people say I'm a designer, but all they can do is drag a logo into Photoshop and then trace out the logo. They can't design anything. They can't use creativity. They can't develop a logo. They can only trace. They are a fantastic tracer, but have zero creativity. That is what's happening right now. All they can do is copy and edit slight edits to code and develop some reskin Photoshop files. And that's it. That's it. Right. And that's the honest feedback right now. I will tell you this. If Supercell is about to kill off one of their games, right? Because of one of the main reasons is not listening to the community. I really hope that Timmy listens because it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. We've given you more than enough feedback. And the reality is, if you're not going to make a game for your community, then who the fuck are you making it for? That's the reality of it, right? I don't even know if the devs understand who their audience is. And that's the sad reality. But that's a whole other point. That goes into another point of, is the game dying? The game's going to die if they don't understand who their audience is. Right? They keep saying they want to build this game for a casual audience. This is not a casual game anymore. It used to be, right? When we had PvP once a month, you know, once every other week, something like that. That is casual. The PvPs aren't getting shorter. They're getting longer, if y'all are noticing. That's not going into more casual. That's going into more hardcore, right? And so your messaging from CMs and devs is, we're building this game is for a casual audience, but then the messaging behind the scenes is, fuck the free to play. This isn't for them. This is for Kragans and whales, and we are building it for them. Right? Nothing's correlating. The messages aren't correlating. All game descriptions say free to play, free to play, free to play. And then the messaging that we are receiving out of those descriptions is not correlating. Right? So you're getting a lot of bite back on that. We got a free permanent frame, bunch of gold. Okay, so that's gonna touch us into another thing. Lizard, you ready for it? All right, let me hide this real quick. Oh, should I move this? I guess I should, right? All right, let me move this. I know we probably don't even want to talk about this, to be honest with you. I kind of don't even want to, but we're going to, I guess. Let me chat. All right. The dev column is too gray, too gay, gray, confused. All right, so let's talk about this now. I know Sneaky kind of did a video on this as well. So yeah, I know Sneaky kind of did a video on this already. We aren't gonna kind of touch on a majority of what he talked about just because his video did so well. I'll leave a comment. I'll leave a link to his video in the description below. But I just want to kind of talk more broad and in general about the state of Age of Empires Mobile. Okay. And this event perfectly articulates what we're talking about. Okay. Events inside of AoEM, boring as shit. Absolute, like, numbing. It's blue balls. If you're a man, you know exactly. It's just blue balls. It is, right? We are hungry for content, hungry for events, and all they can produce is bundles. That's it. That's it. There is no creativity in this. The most creative part of this whole thing is literally going to be the skins. All of these are regurgitated content. It's the same stuff. It's actually worse. Okay. So all of those statements in the dev column, right? You ready for this? When they talked about better rewards and la, 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 right? I want you to look at the advanced section in here and tell me what are the best rewards in this event, right? So you're going to pay $5 for this, which don't get me wrong, it's not very much, right? I would rather them charge $20 for this and give us something that is insane value, right? The only positive, and I will note the positive, the only positive that I will give them kudos for is this, and this wasn't brought up by a lot of other CCs either. For the first time, I don't care that it is purple, we got a permanent fucking frame. Hallelujah. It only took an entire year. It only took an entire year for us to get a permanent fucking frame. Hallelujah. You can't make this shit up. Hey, Rap, I appreciate you subbing to the channel, buddy. So I will give them kudos on that. But when you go in, look on the spend section of this, right? Tell me what value this is, right? There should have been a legendary frame that's over here, right? If you, and I wish I had an image of a corresponding rock event that went on right now. Rock actually does 3 tiers to this, right? And other games do it as well. They do the free version on the left, which still gives some value, gives incentive to doing it. They give the $4.99 or $9.99 section, which would be this, which gives you more value with a couple of additional cosmetics. Okay. So this frame, while this is great, it's free. There should have been an additional one on this side that was legendary, that was slightly better for the $5 or $10, whatever you want to do for it. And then there was a $20 version that was even better with more cosmetics, right? Add in some emotes, add in some emojis, add in some chat bubbles. You can add in 1,000 things that will take you absolutely no time to make. Take you no time to make. And it will make the community happy, because right now, when we look at these events, trash. I don't blink twice at spending money on these events because there's no value in them. Look at it. Okay, great. Has some books, right? Oh, has some speed ups. Are there healing speed ups in here? Let me see. We've been requesting them. Oh, okay. Training, research. Great. Building. Cool. Oh man, what do you know? No fucking healing in here. Okay, cool. Legendary, like the legendary blueprints. Great. That's all we need. Even more of those. Right? Nobody wants that. Whistles. Bro, why are whistles considered to be, y'all tell me this, chat. Why are whistles considered to be a top tier reward that they use in everything? It's trash. I can earn more whistles, right? How many whistles are in this? Let me see. 5. Okay, 5 whistles. You ready for this? When I go into Desolate Desert, I can do those 5 whistles. I can get those for free in 5 minutes. Just doing a couple of challenges. I get them for free. So why am I going to pay you $5 for 5 whistles? Almost all of these are so bad that you can get them in the merit shop. We can get them on the daily. We can get them on weekly reset. I can get all this. I don't need your event for this. What I want the events to be are Halloween themed. I want cosmetics for Halloween. I want effects for my marches. Even if they're mediocre at best, they're still something. I want a epic city theme that I can spend and earn, right? That is what we are hungry for. We are hungry for better rewards. And that is why I laughed when I saw the reward thing, because it doesn't address the events. It doesn't address KVK events. It doesn't address all these other issues with rewards that have nothing to do with the merit shop. Okay. And that is why, as another issue that I have right now, is it just sounds like they're not They're addressing one of the smallest things, but leaving out the 95% of what we keep asking for. And Sneaky dove into this, like the minimal dog water effort put into making this event is infuriating. Look at this. I don't even want to do this fucking event. It's so minimal. This is a reskin. This is a reskin. This is a reskin. This is a reskinned event. It is all reskinned. And even when they reskin it, the rewards don't reflect. All they're literally doing is they're not doing anything. The most they probably changed in here is they added in the frame. That's it. Everything else is speed ups. They could have kept everything from the last event and we wouldn't have known, and just switched the little JPEG out in the back with this little icon, and that's it. We could have done that in 20 minutes, right? That is the problem that we have right now. The events are not rewarding. They're not even good events. They're low budget, low effort events, right? You want people to spend, you want people to be excited for your events, do better. Not that hard. In some events, the second tiers and unlockable with gems. Bye, cree. Things like this is what reminds me of being free to play. Sometimes it's awesome when spenders get butt thumped, but skins are where the money is, and cosmetics, and that's okay, right? I kind of want to bring it up now because now I want to. So this is something I'm gonna bring it up. Give me 1 second. This is something that I brought up to aoem or to Rock years before they released it, and when I rejoined, this is something that they added. Okay, this was like a year ago that they added it, but I'm gonna show y'all because it's something that they need to see. And I talked about this a long time ago because, like you said, right, skins are where the money is at, right? That's what I used to tell the Rock devs and CMs back in the day. I was like, instead of, right, and this is where the mind shift happened. I'm not telling you it was just me, right? We all kind of verbally did that, but the shop specifically was something that that was the flag I died on. That was the hill I died on. The CMs and the devs had to switch their mindset from always doing nothing, basically what the aoem devs are doing, where all they gave a shit about were bundles, reskin events, and new kvk tech, right? Switching from that and then switching the mindset of investing more time into cosmetics, because like you said, people want the shiny shit. I don't give a shit about some mediocre, ugly ass kvk map, right? If my city looks dope as shit, I'm game, right? Do I want to spend $5,000 on that skin? Hell fucking no, right? But are there players that do want to spend a couple hundred on a good looking exclusive skin? Probably. And by all means, you can cater to them as well. But you should have cosmetics that cater to your free to play, your low spender, and your medium spenders. And everybody should be able to get a piece of the pie. That is where the shift happened, and I'm going to show you what the shift was. All right, give me a second. Add here. But honestly, you've got to know what this ain't living. So one of the major shifts that happen is when you come in here. Oh wait, wrong one. When you come in here, so all of these you can buy. You see this background on our profile. You can buy customized background images for your thing. Each event that they have has an exclusive background. So the boat theme that we're going to have in aoem would have a water theme background that's animated in the back that you could get, right? You want a profile picture, a frame that will have that same event will have a profile frame, background profile image. It will have a city theme. It will have emotes. It will have all these things that will all check all the boxes. They will have the expensive variations and they will have the cheap ones. Okay. When you come in here and we click on our bush, right? We're going to go in here and come in here, right? This is where their city theme shit is at, right? Compared to ours, you can kind of see their city themes aren't nearly as robust or, you know, like that. But they do have variations for a lot of different things. I don't have them all, but most of these were free, right? I could grind an event, get a new city theme. I think I paid for one of these skins, and that's it. Almost all of these themed event skins were earned via event unlock. The exclusive ones are the ones that you have to earn in like Osiris League or Wonder Contest. Hold on, let me see. Let me see which ones those were. They're all the animated ones. I assume they'll be at the bottom. Give me 1 second. You can start to see they have like animations and shit in them, right? These are going to be, some of them are buy, okay? But here is the point that I was talking about. Well, behind my picture, you'll see there's a button that says cosmetic shop. When you click on the cosmetic shop, holy shit, what do you know? There's a fucking cosmetic shop. You want city themes? Here you go. You want to buy some of the old ones? Here you go. These are not expensive ass themes, right? Let me see. What was the cost of that one? 5,000. 5,000 is 20 bucks. A $20 city theme. And this is the part that I was talking about, right? Lower cost city themes so that lower spenders are like, you know what? I want a Christmas city theme. I'm going to spend 20 bucks. I'm going to get the city theme, right? And then you have the event that might be more expensive, right? But it's going to look better. It's going to have more effort. This would be 500 in aoem. Exactly. That's my point. There should be a variation of skins, a tier up, a scaling, right? That doesn't currently, and we'll talk about that here in a little bit in the state of aoem. There should be scaling of rewards, right? There should be some themes and some cosmetics that you're going to get for free, just like we got that new frame. There's going to be some that tier up when you get a spend. And then when you spend even more, there's going to be this. Maybe you even have an event where it's like a race to the top. And then your top 5 in your Halloween race event will get this exclusive permanent theme. Because then you're making content. You're making something that people want to grind for, that people want to play for. And that is the difference, right? That is the logic that is not going through their minds right now. And they are not understanding, right? The name plaques right here. All these name plaques that you can choose from. Avatar frames, 1,000. What is this? How much is this one? How much is 1,000? $5. A $5 frame, right? Is that a little pricey? It's outside of the event, right? I'm sure that if you had this event, some of these, I will also say this. Some of these are also previous events cosmetics. So like for right now, like we have the Halloween event in aoem that offered that free frame. If you join a year later, right, you won't be able to access that frame. So what you would do is then you add it to the shop at $5. Somebody can come in and unlock it while they otherwise wouldn't be able to get it. So you can start to see what I'm talking about. Specials. They have the interior buildings. You can add little themes. This is where like the dragon theme, like the one that we have inside the city, where you could buy different themes. But you can start to see the price. 3,000. It's nothing. It's minimal. It's minuscule. The sheer amount that you're going to get. So I will say that. That's the point that I'm trying to articulate with the devs is that, and they aren't understanding, right? Nobody in their right fucking mind there are players that can afford it, right? But if you're trying to tap a majority of your audience and make money, and convert your free to play to low spender, the best way of doing that is offering lower end cosmetics, not lower end, but cosmetics at an affordable price. There's no reason a frame should cost me $200 when you didn't put any effort into it. No reason. Because all the themes that y'all are seeing right now for aoem, oh man, hold on. that y'all are seeing for aoem aren't even original themes. They are ripped from the CN version, so they're not even developing those. Hate to tell y'all that. All right. Supercell is good at this. So, J-Dot, you ready for this? Supercell is so good at listening to their community that they have announced that they are going to be shutting down Squad Busters permanently. Let that sink in. And one of the main reasons why, you ready for this? In my opinion, one of the main reasons why this is occurring is going to be one of the main reasons why if aoem shuts down, it shuts down. Squad Busters and Supercell, the developers for that game, never listen to their community. Ever. Okay. The feedback when we were playing betas and doing all that kind of stuff that we provided them, it's like night and day. It's like apples and apples. The same thing happened to aoem. We give them feedback and feedback and feedback and feedback and feedback, and they never did anything with it, right? And then what happened is they went a year, like 2-3 years later down the road, and finally realized that all the feedback that they had been given was right. But this entire time, those 3 years, they spent catering their game to a casual player. And then they were upset because their player base kept falling off. Their players weren't loyal to the game. It's very common what's happening with aoem, right? What's happening with aoem. We hop on, we click, do dailies in 5 minutes, and we are out. We are out. We are playing League of Legends. We're playing Valorant, Call of Duty. We're playing Rise of Kingdoms. We're playing Destiny Rising. We're playing Destiny 2. We're playing everything except for aoem. We have no brand loyalty to your brand because you don't listen to your community. We don't feel valued. We have nothing to do. You don't listen. Okay. So by time Squad Busters developers listened to the community, it was 3 years down the road. They developed, redeveloped, and changed their entire game model, right, to retarget hardcore players so that they could build that loyal base. Who would have known? It then isolated their entire casual player base. All the players that stuck with them for 3 years were like, what the fuck, bro? Like, we didn't want any of this shit. We just wanted some more of this, right? And then all the hardcore players that gave them all that original feedback didn't give a shit because they weren't even playing. And so not only did they not listen, but then when they did listen and make the adjustments, it was too late. And none of those players that gave the feedback were there. And so then they pissed off both the hardcore and the casuals. And so then nobody was playing. That's the problem that's happening right now with aoem. And this is the state of the game. And this addresses directly to the state of the game. What's happening? We've given you 12 months of feedback. Every single event that we've given you, and this is me looking at the devs and the CMs, we've given you 12 months of feedback, and y'all have done jack shit with it. Jack shit. Nothing. You have given us the corporate answer to our feedback, which is, we hear you and we will look into it. Or, we hear you, please contact customer support. I don't give a fuck about customer support. We want to hear from y'all what you were going to do. I don't want to hear from customer support. I want to hear from the devs that relay a message saying, yes, it's a problem. We are working on it. We are sorry. Done. That's it. That's all I want to hear. We haven't heard any of that. They haven't addressed the anniversary, absolute fucking fumble. They haven't addressed any of the previous issues that we brought up in numerous feedback surveys, videos, emails, everything, test server problems, everything's a mess, right? They don't listen to y'all's feedback. I know y'all, I want to give the praise for Cigar and putting his neck out there and writing and doing all this stuff. But as I told y'all before, they don't give a shit about that. Right? What they care about is their bottom line. And if it's not getting affected, I don't care if you have a 10,000 signature petition. Nobody gives a shit. It's the truth, right? I don't want to hurt y'all's feeling. Well, I guess I kind of need to, right? Daddy Bulba is giving you a little pat on the bottom. They don't give a shit about that. It's the cold hard truth. What they care about is their bottom line. If they lost, you know, $20,000 from the previous month, they don't give a shit, right? If they lose 80% of previous month's revenue, they give a shit. That's the difference. So I know that a lot of people are starting to realize, well, I don't think we need to put in the suggestions column. Maybe I just need to fucking flame them in a video, get enough eyeballs on the video, and then maybe we'll get their attention. And now it's starting to become a reality for a lot of people of why we do what we do, right? They can sweep. You can sweep a DM under the rug. You can't sweep a 40,000 view video, 20,000 view video that some of the CCs are getting where they're flaming and addressing issues that need to be addressed, showing off bugs that are broken, systems that are broken, issues in the game that need to be addressed. Can't sweep that under the rug because we own the video. Maybe feedback gets lost in translation. Oh yeah, well, we're gonna. They would have saved a lot of money in hiring translator rather than that. Oh Lord. Okay, I'm on Clash of Clans. Didn't know Squad was a mess. Yeah, Squad is a mess. Yeah, Squad is getting shut down. They've officially announced their last update and that they will be shutting down. This project or game is copycat and not expecting much out of it. They will profit till they can't. Wait for aoem 2, maybe listen then. Yeah. Hey. You ready for this? Waiting for aoem 2 and then the community thinking that they're going to be able to cross over their aoem 1 account. All right. Stay in the game. Let's get into it. Another thing. Full scale attack. Oh boy. Wait, am I going to get zeroed? Hold up. Wait a minute. Ooh, matchmaking. 7 hours. Ooh. All right. There's just nothing to do, fam. There's just nothing to do. And that's the problem. There's nothing. Right? When it comes to state, we've kind of addressed a lot of them, a lot of the issues. If there's other issues that you want to talk about or ask me about, it's that. Upcoming updates we've talked about. We've talked about issues with events. We've talked about communication with community. We've talked about not listening to the community. We've talked about low budget, low effort being put into the game. And then there's the CC problem, right? I'm not going to get too deep. I'm not going to address with other CCs. I'm not going to name drop. I'm not going to do any of that because I think we're all kind of in the general consensus in the same boat, right? The stuff that y'all don't see is a problem, right? I know everyone saw the Lou screenshots and all that kind of stuff. That's being generous. That happens almost on the daily inside of CC chat where we share with the community managers. The responses that we get for certain things is insane. It's wild. The kind of stuff, I will tell you this, the kind of stuff that we get responses for is the kind of stuff that if you gave your boss that kind of response, you'd be fucking fired for disrespect and insubordination. I'm not saying that I expect the ultimate respect, but I'm doing it free of charge and helping you to build your fucking game, right? And this is a rant right here. Your fucking game, free of charge. You're not paying me. I'm not sponsored, right? The least you could do is provide us with fucking assets. when they're going to be released. We still don't have assets from season 5. We still don't have fucking assets. We have CCs that are Google imaging Napoleon and plugging some random shitter image in the thumbnail because we don't have fucking assets. That's unbelievable. We don't have background images. We don't have icons. We don't have anything. We don't have anything pertaining to anything. We don't even have the fucking logos. Let that sink in. It's been a year and we don't even have the Age of Empires official logos inside of the Content Creator Hub website. We don't get transparency on when events get. If we don't hear it from super core players, we don't even know it's happening. Right? Here's a point, right? Here, I'm gonna articulate I'm gonna break it down. It's gonna be like so condensed down, but I don't want to give the whole story because it's just it's a waste of space. It's a waste of air. Okay. I'm just giving you an example of what the CCs go through. Okay. Test server just is going on right now. Okay. Right. We received an email a couple of days prior to the launch of the test server. Right. Cool. Right. You can sign up. You can sign up to get registered for your test server, whatever. Okay, cool. We find out they also, at the very bottom of it, right? We complained about it, and I'll explain why. At the very bottom of that email, they said, we are going to be running a content contest for you. Okay. Stay tuned for more information. That should sound very fucking familiar, right? That is what they literally do for everything. Migration is coming. Stay tuned for more information. Okay. The test server opens. Nobody gives a shit. Nobody enters it. We don't give a shit about it. Cigarum, I don't even think entered. I didn't enter it. I think Sneaky went in and did some recordings because he was doing some testing. And I think Alakerd went in and did a little bit. Because I know he did some screenshots and stuff over the Apex event. All right. Then we find out today. You ready for this? The test server ends in 2 days. We find out today they give us the actual rewards, like the breakdown of what the rewards for the contest are, the deadline, and kind of what they're looking for. 2 days before it closes. Bro, what kind of fucking transparency is that? All of that shit should have been in the email. These are the dates of the opening. Sign up for your thing. This is the goal, the topics of your videos, and here are the rewards. Done. I don't know why this is so hard. This isn't rocket science. You don't need to drip feed it. You're not selling it to the marketers. You're selling it to like 10 creators. It's not that fucking hard. That's the kind of shit that we deal with on a regular basis. That kind of transparency where we are the last ones to find out anything and they expect us to do stuff. And that's why we get upset. Because we are like the last rung on the totem, but do the most work for the community. And that's why the mods get better stuff. The mods get rewarded. And the CCs don't get rewarded. Let that fucking sink in. The mods on the official Discord get rewards monthly. The CCs, you know what we get? You know what we get? We don't even get a fucking handshake. We don't get a high five. We don't get a message that says, thank you for your blah, 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 blah. We don't get shit. We haven't heard thank you once in 12 months. Let that sink in. 12 months, the CCs haven't been thanked for their contribution. The biggest thank you we got was on the anniversary event, right? That's it. That's literally it. And I don't give a shit about that. Whoo, that raid. That was a Bulbarant right there, baby. That was a Bulbarant right there. Can't wait for aoem 2. Hope it's more pay to win. Jesus Christ. Not gonna lie, I'll probably still play aoem 2 and complain every day again. So I'll tell you this. If it looks like... So the video that was getting passed around, I will tell you this. The video that was getting passed around isn't an official video. It was chopped up bits of the current CN version mixed with some newer features that are coming out. It's like one of those, if you've ever seen it on YouTube where it's like Hunger Games 17 preview, and then they just splice together a bunch of fucking clips from like the old Hunger Games. That's basically what they did. The favoritism towards mods is crazy. You know what's crazy is the fact that they get rewards and are still fucking quitting. But the CCs are staying and aren't even getting a fucking reward. Let that sink in. Everyone migrating to S40 anyways soon, so no one will fight. Nah, man, they'll only have 25. Oh, they'll have 29. They'll have 29. You know why? You want to know why? Because I have zero confidence that these developers fix migration issues. So out of the 50 slots that they probably didn't change, 25 of those will still be controlled migration. And then the 25, I guarantee you, there will be kingdoms that are deliberately building up accounts just to cook your free migration. Whether it's server 13 or 42 or 19 or 18 or whoever's fighting for your own migrants, they'll build out the accounts just to cook your free migration. And so the reality is you'll only get 29 players. You'll get 25 that are under the threshold of, I'm going to guess 65 is the bottom and then 70 is the high. I would also, here's a bold prediction right here. You ready for it? Bold prediction right here. If because we haven't heard anything about migration, I know people are saying in the middle of November. All right. If they increase the frequency of migrations, my prediction is they will also drastically increase the price of passes to migrate. Because their number one issue, and this is the part that they didn't tell the community, that they told the content creators, their biggest pushback, and this is how I know that they're just out of fucking reality. Their biggest pushback was, if we increase migration frequency, then matchmaking, player base, like stabilization is going to be all out of whack, right? It's going to be out of control, so on and so forth, right? It's going to kill the game, essentially, is what they're worried about. Here's the rebuttal. You're already doing a fantastic job at killing your own game. You don't need to worry about migration. You're doing a fantastic job already by producing dog shit content, no replayable content, trash rewards, and really bad PvP. You're already doing a fantastic, and not listening to your community. There's 5. You're already doing a great job. Why are we worried about migration? At least make a little money on us. Let us play with our friends. So what? So what if we only have a stellar with 12 kingdoms in it? Because right now, that's basically what's happening. That's the reality of it. They're so worried about the pennies that they're missing the dollars. And that is the problem of the mentality of the aoem developers. And that I can't say this enough. That is something that I hope gets fixed, but I'm not going to hold my breath. Right? When you are constantly chasing pennies and missing dollars, you are short-sighted. You are short-sighted. Your community is giving you feedback that is future proof. We are helping you to give you insight into what we want to keep us here long term. You are worried about the next 2 months. We are worried about the next 2 years. And that is the difference. That is a difference in mentality. As content creators, I am not worried about next month. I am worried about wanting to make content for your game for the next years on down the road. And how I envision the game progressing and the community growing and us using our platform as content creators to help you do that. But when we can't get basic essentials like assets, transparency, clear communication ahead of time, sneak peeks, previews, bro, I can't dive too deep into it without it coming off like they don't even know what they're doing. They don't though. We don't even have a really official content creator program. We don't have a path to success, a path to progress, a path to growth. We don't have any of that. We have, oh, you have 300 subs. Boom, here's a tag. Congratulations. I hope you're not looking for assets or support because you're not getting them. That's what we're getting. And that's what needs to change. Those are the problems. Migration will probably be chopped, Scorchy. They don't have info on how many people are active, and the limit will probably set too low for special migration. I agree. I agree. You know what really is going to be funny, Scorchy, is that Beta is so excited. Beta is so excited to be able to migrate. Here's the problem, though. Almost all of their free-to-play is going to be over the threshold. Just let that sink in. Almost all of their free-to-play, because they've been playing the game for 2 fucking years, there's no way that they aren't over 65, 60, 60 mil. And then to make it even worse, it's based on historic average. It's based on your historic top. So what that means is almost every single player inside of beta is going to be a special ticket. You're not going to be able to get in as a regular migrant. Every single beta player essentially is going to be a special migration ticket. So what does that mean? That means that your beta servers are getting absolutely dissected, because you can no longer move a group of 25 people from beta server into as a group, right? Because most of them are going to be over 60, 65. So that means you're going to move as a group of 5. So while it is great for beta that they are going to be able to migrate out, they aren't going to be able to stay together. So all those people you spent the last 2 years, you ready for this? They spent the last 2 years playing together, and you're going to tell them that they can't play together anymore because of your short-sightedness. I really hope they prove me wrong. I hope that this is me giving them the suggestion, right, on what they need to change. Here are the fixes. Regular migration tickets should be up to 100 mil power. Regular migration tickets. Special migration should be over 100 million, no cap. Like no cap, like 100 million up. Doesn't matter. The number of migrants should be based on your frequency of when the migration event is going to happen. Okay. I will say that again. The rules for the cap. So what I mean by the cap is 50 for 50 migrants, right? For this kingdom, for a top kingdom, right? 50 is the cap. It's usually 25 controlled, 25 free migrations. Okay. What I am saying is that number should directly correlate to the frequency of migration. If you are going to have migration every stellar, I don't think it should be 50. I think it should be 35. I think the amount should be low enough where 150 people aren't flooding one server, and then you constantly have server hop every single month and a half. Should not be a thing. Okay. If you are going to do it every 3 months, then you raise it up. You increase that. Instead of 35, you do 45 or 50, right? If you're going to do it every 6 months, it should be 200, 250. If you're going to do it every once a year, 500. That, I'm just throwing out numbers. Those, of course, need to get finessed, but you get my point. If you are going to increase the frequency, then you should lower the number, because there will be more opportunities for people to migrate. It will also give free to play more opportunities to skip migration to save tickets so that they can then migrate for free. Okay. That being said, the cost of migration should directly correlate with frequency, in my opinion. If you're going to do frequency very often, then the price needs to go up 100%. That's going to derail a lot of players from constantly hopping and ruining kingdoms, because you would be very surprised. There might be one player that's just going to migrate in and absolutely cook something, right? And so I think that it needs to increase. I'm not saying it needs to go up 20x, but it can't be as cheap as it is right now if it's going to be every 1 month and a half, right? If it's going to be every 3 months, 5 months, you get the gist of it, right? And then what needs to also happen is duration. We already kind of talked about that needs to change. But most importantly, we kind of brought this up earlier, the most important thing outside of increasing the overall number, there's probably two things, twofold. One, get rid of free migration. It's dog shit. Nobody wants it, and it makes no sense. End of story. I don't need to explain it any further. Nobody needs to explain it. It's a bad idea. Just admit it's a bad idea and get rid of it. Nobody likes it. Nobody wants it. It makes no sense. Get rid of it. Okay. And then two, if you're going to keep groups, then you need to keep groups at a bigger rate where it makes sense, where we do not feel crippled that we aren't able to go where we want to go. Okay. What do I mean by that? I talked about it earlier. The groups, just as a rough estimate, Empire 1 to Empire 165 is one group. Empire 166 to 300 is group 2. Group 3 is 301 to 330. Right. The group should be large enough where me as a player do not feel handicapped because you, the devs, and this, the devs, right? I can't even say CMs because CMs don't know jack shit about this. The devs control how I play the game and who I play with. If I want to join server 40, 39, 38, whatever, it doesn't matter. The group should allow me to do that. I shouldn't be handicapped. What it should avoid, right? And I did preface this earlier. It should not allow a player from 42 to migrate to server 310 with a maxed out account and then just cook everybody in the server. You can't have that. But most of the servers that are in that group, right, are already fighting each other in Stellar. So what's the difference, right? Server 42 is fighting server 195. I don't understand why we can't all be in the same group and just let us move wherever we want to move. That's the thing, right? Naughty kids get sent to 2.0, thankfully. Oh, Lord, Caiaphas. Caiaphas, true 100 million cut line is needed. And that's what I would say. 65 is too low because free to play are already going to be pushing that threshold. Even if they raise it to 75, sorry, 75 is way too fucking low, right? The bare minimum that I think that if it's not 100 should be like 85. I don't think free to play are going to be pretty close to 85. I think they're probably closer to like the 50 to 65 range. I think 85 would be a nice medium, but I think optimal would be 100 mil. All right, so I did see a question here, Scar. Very true. A lot of people. Hold on. Let me catch up. How's it going? Bro, migration should be allowed at any time, anywhere. Just have a big ass cooldown, and maybe the pass is available to buy in store. So here's the thing, May, right? You say available anytime. What's to prevent all these players from just migrating in the middle of Stellar, absolutely cooking you, right? Imagine 55 new players migrating in for final zone of DD to zero out everybody and then claim free rewards. It can't be any time. It has to be a controlled time, right? And we have controlled time periods, and that's the thing. We already have that built out. After the end of Stellar, there's always 2 weeks of dead time. You can easily put the event announcement 1 week, migration the next week, and then you've already migrated in. It kicks into Stellar, brand new Stellar, and you're there. It doesn't make any sense why they don't use that timing. No sense. The game devs remind me a lot of Lord of the Rings, Rise of War. Oh, Lord. I played that for a little bit. All right. So, let me see. Malice. Bobo, what are your thoughts on aoem results as being Rock's top competitor? I don't think that aoem is Rock's top competitor. That's being the truth. I don't even think we're in top 3. No, you want it in, Papa? You want to say hi? Hold on. Somebody. Oh, hold on, chat. He's right here. Oh, can you move? Oh, here. Yeah. Somebody wants to say hi, chat. Give me a second. Okay. Why are you so shy, Baba? So shy. He really does not like this chat. He is not amused. He's not amused, chat. He's really not amused. All right, lay down. All right. All right, so let me see what you said. So top competitor, I don't think they are. I don't think they're in top 3. That's the reality of it. If you're talking about city builders, I think Clash is probably the number 1. I don't even think Rock is number 1. Clash is still number 1. Clash makes more money in a month than Rock does currently. I think it would be Clash is 1 right now. Rock, Call of Dragons. I want to say usually the newest game is going to be the one that goes up. I haven't looked at the profits for the newest one that released, but I don't think aoem is in there. I think aoem makes a decent, like a healthy margin, but it's definitely not. It's definitely not what it needs to be. Right? Clash is making like 35-40 million a month. I think aoem is making like 4. So it's like we're not even in the ballpark. I think that's the problem, is everyone thinks that we are the top, and we're in reality like we are like top 6 or 7. I think in grossing mobile games, I think we fall out of top 100. All right, let me see. Free migration is for games who have shit ton of players. So this kind of addresses it. Another thing too is I don't know why we have 300 plus servers in aoem right now. I don't. I really don't. We can't even populate the first 300. Why are we trying to populate 310? 100 million is too low. I disagree. 100 million, it would be like mid-spender. If you can move over 75 mid-spenders, bro, you're cooked. That's way too much. I think 100 million is kind of the sweet spot. All right, let me see. Let me catch up in the comments real quick. A lot of people have fun playing this game. Many CCs in aoem Discord are too negative. So here's the thing, Caleb. Most CCs don't enjoy the game. That's the reality of it. Most CCs don't even enjoy the game. What they enjoy is they enjoy their community. They enjoy having fun with their community. That is what they enjoy. Most of us would have left aoem a long time ago if it wasn't for the community. That is the truth. aoem is starting to become the back burner game for most aoem CCs right now. High and low. Big and small CCs. No, most CCs do not see aoem as a primary game anymore. That is the honest truth. You want the honest, brutal truth? That is the honest, brutal truth. Most CCs, big and small, are already, if not have already made plans to back burner aoem, and it's not even their primary game anymore. That's the reality of it. Partially, it's part of the reasons, or the reasons that I talked about before when I addressed the CC program. Other reasons are the game just isn't fun. Our communities are fun, right? But tell me one thing. You ready for this? Tell me one thing in Age of Empires Mobile that I can play with my community. I'll wait. I'll wait for the comments. Tell me one thing, just one thing that I can do in game inside of Age of Empires Mobile that I can play with my community. I'll wait. I'll be here until the 2nd anniversary before you give me an answer, because nobody can give me an answer on that. In game. The most fun event that people had with Cigarum, right, with his 1-year anniversary as a content creator or as a channel, was a game that he had to make himself. Bro, let that, like, that's wild. All right, let me catch up. No, I don't even know. I don't even know if the dev column exists. Just log in and play the game. Yeah, exactly. Kaifus, the sad story of Rise of War 2.0 should be what parents tell their kids at bedtime as a cautionary tale. Jesus Christ. Believe it or not, you ready for this, Kaifus? Was it you, Kaifus, that told me that some of y'all knew Satesi from that game? I played the original Rise of War. I didn't see Satesi, but I did know some of the names that we were talking about. aoem is still fully fixable for now. I think it's patch worthy right now. I don't know if it's fixable in the immediate future. I think it's gonna take like 6 months if they started right now to get it where it needs to be, where we would be like, okay, I can see a brighter future. Right now, I don't see it. I don't see it because this is the issue I have, Kaifas. I don't see any original thoughts coming out of the development team. Anything original. Nothing. Everything that is the content roadmap that we are seeing is nothing but copy paste from CN. There is no original content being produced for global. We are getting regurgitated, throw up. We are getting mama bird content where we are the baby bird getting choked down, munched up food. We aren't getting original content. And so that's the issue that I have is I can't say that it's fixable because they haven't shown me the initiative to want to fix anything or be creative or fix their transparency in the community or, you know, work on their content creator program or even acknowledge, hey guys, my bad, we fucked up on the anniversary event. We'll do better. Right? Because, and y'all know why, and here's the reason why. The reason they didn't say anything is because they already knew that they were going to release a dog shit event right after it. So why acknowledge saying, our bad guys, this was a really bad event. We'll do better in the future. Here is your Halloween event. It's even more dog shit and gives you less rewards. And then they're going to say, my bad, give us feedback. We want to do better. Here's your Thanksgiving dog shit event. Enjoy. We did better. Daddy did good. And that's the problem. Nobody believes them. It's like the boy who cried wolf. So you ready for this? They've told us that the PC version is being actively worked on right now. You ready for this? Bro, actively worked on. It's already built. They're not working on jack shit. You know what they're working on? They're working on making sure that it's translated to English and that we don't have broken heroes inside of the global version that shouldn't exist because guess what? They don't know how to make a test server. That is what they're spending all their time on. The PC version is already built because the CN version already has a PC client. All of the updates, ready? All the updates that y'all have been requesting for the mobile version already exist. They just aren't in global. CN version has landscape vertical mode. Y'all know Cigarum. Cigarum pointed that out when he was playing the Civ game, right? That he liked the idea of being able to go back and forth. That already exists in the CN version. They have voice chat inside of the CN version. We can hop on voice chat inside of the game. We don't need to use Discord. They already have it all. Can you imagine how toxic that shit's gonna be? Jesus Christ. Yes, 42 is fighting 195 and 196. Double hero season for bigger migration stack. Jesus Christ. Mini Boba, yeah. aoem is competing with Call of Dragons. I would say that's probably a closer one, Scorchy, to be honest. It's definitely not close to Rock. Isn't White Survival and King Shot like top two? So those are. I think Top War, I think, is another one that's up there that I know for a fact makes more money than aoem as well. You know how I know? Because Mephisto went and moved there and spent all his hundreds of thousands of dollars there. Where do you look up the revenue? So there is a oh, what is it called? Give me 1 second. Tower. Sensory Tower. They have free version, paid version, that kind of stuff. But you can look up Sensory Tower. It's a website. And they do grossing breakdowns each month. If you have the paid version, you can do like accrued over time. That's why I like when people do videos like in Rock, when they were like, is Rock dying? And then they pull up like Google Trends and shit. Like, that's just web traffic. That's not what really matters. What matters is the profits. Sensory Tower gives a lot of that. You can look up Forbes. Forbes does those on the yearly. A lot of reputable stuff out there. Sensory Tower is the standard though. But someone starting today can't start in a server with 100 million plus player. So here's the fun reality. Server 266 had a bunch of those players within the first like month and a half. 100 mil really isn't that hard, because what's happening is when we started the game, there wasn't that many bundles to buy and tech to push and all that kind of stuff. We were stuck at 120 for like the first 6 months, right? Now, when you launch into a new server, you can unlock 140. There's no barriers to unlocking anything. You can unlock it as fast as you can buy. There's no barriers. Look at the view of this game. How could this be on top? True, chop them down to 150 servers. I have a character on 290. That server is dead. Only one alliance of players. I can only imagine how it is. Yeah, for sure, Scorchy. Wonders, Keck. Oh, Lord. Cash shop up the ass. Yeah, dude. So, hey, I wouldn't mind. If it's cheap cosmetics, I don't give a shit. Kaifus, I never ran into Satesi and RTW, thankfully, but there was a bunch of heavy hitters. So what I told, and Kaifus, you would know this as well, right? Coming from Rock. There are players in Rock that spend more in pre-K in one KV, like KVK prep stage, than most players spend in their lifetime in aoem. It's insane the amount of money that players will spend. So I know people think aoem is expensive, but they're far bigger players than bigger spenders than Satesi in a lot of those games. See, I never ran into, let me see, give Kingdom Maker a try. Fresh new take on kingdom building. I can look into it, so, but I'm not really looking to, I need to find a game. I need to find a city builder or a game that really just, it gives me that itch. It satisfies that itch. I love Rock. Don't get me wrong. I love Rock. I build a whole separate channel specifically for that. The problem that I have with Rock is it's still very heavy spendy. And so it gives me like pullback when I want to invest into it. I want to dive into it, into content, all that. But I made that separate channel because some of the most fun, engaging content that I love to make is free in that game. I can cast Osiris League and make, in one season of Osiris League, I can do 50 cast streams. I can chop them all up into videos and then make 200 videos out of the streams, out of the casts per matches. I can make almost 300 pieces of content for one Osiris League. I don't think I could do that in 10 years in aoem right now. And I'm not saying that there is no content to be made. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that. Don't get it misunderstood. There is plenty of content to be made. I can easily make short videos on hero animations like every other Rock creator, like in Rock, where they're like the new hero animation. Yeah. And it's like 30 seconds long, and that's a video. And I can do that for every hero release. I can make that kind of content. I just don't prefer it. and we don't really get enough support for us to do that kind of content because it's already been released by the time we find out. So it doesn't really matter. Chisco and Omni pieced out pretty early on. Their CC program did nothing to keep interest early on. True. Well, I knew OmniArc was gone launch day. I knew he was gone launch day when the statement that he said in the first 10 minutes of that live stream was, somebody asked, hey, how long do you think you're going to be here? And he says, well, my contract is for whatever, right? So I'll be here till then. That's literally what he said. He's like, and then he said, after that, then we'll think about it, right? But I knew instantly when he said that, he's not like, that isn't a mindset of I'm here to stay. That is a mindset of I got paid, I got the bag, I'm going to make a little content, fulfill my contract, do a couple of live streams, a couple of videos, and I am deucing out with the bag. That's what that is. No time to work on PC client. Jesus Christ. Should we return to COC, Bulba? Activate the clan again. Satan, you laugh, but I've thought about it. The issue that I have with COC is I'm so far behind. If I'm gonna do it, I kind of want to do a revamp with the community. That's the honest truth. I might fire the old one back up, but what I'm really interested in is us doing a ginormous like restart project of a clan and all starting from zero and then just running the train. Because the problem that we ran into last time is I was starting from new and a bunch of players were starting from new, and then we had players with Town Hall 17 and 16, and then our matchmaking got cooked because of that. So at least this way, if we all are starting fresh and pushing up, then we're not going to get match made with a bunch of fucking Town Hall 18s, and then you have a Town Hall 12 fighting a Town Hall 18, you know what I mean, kind of deal. I did think about it though. I'm not lying to you. It might be something that I do consider, to be perfectly honest with you. If you're not in the Discord, hop in the Discord. It is something that I am actively looking at. Hold on real quick. It logged me out of my... Ooh, for a second there, I thought I was showing my browser. I was like, Jesus Christ. Honey, I'm a perfect 10. All right, there you go. All right, let me see. Look up where winds meet. Oh, Lord. The only thing I like about this game is your content. Abhi, I appreciate you, fam. Always wait for your streams. I appreciate you, bud. I always do the love. We can do a restart in COC. I'm down. All right, well, let me know. Put it. Let's link up in Discord. Here, I'll put the. Let's link up in Discord, and I might put a poll out, engage it. If we have enough people that kind of are interested in it, then we'll do it. We can do a restart. What happened to Destiny Rising? You still playing that? We are, Scorchy. We are. Sneaky and I, and we have a Kaifas. Kaifas is in here. We have a group that's doing it. I just haven't had time. So the deals that's been happening is because I've had so much aoem stuff going on, right, with the MEEs and the Stellars and all that stuff. I just haven't had time to play to be on Destiny Rising. But yeah, we are still playing it. We're still in the Sneaky and I are still running, and Kaifas and all the crew are still running in the Wolfpack, the clan. They're actually coming out with some insane updates. They're working on server merges right now. So step 1 server merge They're going to merge the US and the LATAM servers together, and then they're merging the APAC and the UK server together. And then the next server merge will be finally the big merge with all of everybody. And then we can play with everybody, and you can cross and join clans and do everything like that. So they're making progress. That's a couple of months in. They're already actively working on probably the top 3 feedback complaints that they've received. They're already being, they've been, the transparency has been there from the communication of saying, we hear you, we understand, and we're actively working on adjusting those kinds of deals. And then they are giving us timelines, they're giving us updates, they're doing all these kinds of deals. So it's a very big thing. And it will probably start taking a little bit more. But we do have the Bulbaritos Plays channel for Destiny Rising. So if you want to see that, then go check it out. Sky, I love how you've been live in AoEM category and haven't even done anything in AoEM but just chat with us. Sky, but that's the deal, man. You know what I mean? I love y'all. And I can do this all fucking day. You know what I mean? Shit, I would talk to y'all about food, cats, dogs. I don't give a shit. Because I use live streaming as my way of communicating with y'all. Do I want to play AoEM? Hell yeah, I want to play AoEM with y'all. But nobody can list a single fucking thing that I can do, that I can play in game. I can't even get a chat room together with everybody just so we can have a chat. The social ability inside of AoEM is non-existent. And that's so unfortunate. Destiny Rising Season 2 kicks off in another day. Great time to join a Sneaky Burritos. Yeah, look at Kaifas. Look at that Kaifas out here recruiting. I love it. I love it. Dude, I haven't put a command for the Bulbaritos Plays yet. I need to put it. If y'all want to, and y'all want to check it out, feel free, let us know. Hop in Discord, hop in on my Discord. Hit us up, and then we can add you if you're interested in it. It made a huge amount of money, I think, first month, like 30 mil. Yeah, Destiny Rising made quite a bit. The difference is, and this is where we keep it real, right? Destiny Rising came out swinging because a lot of D2 players came out, bought the cosmetics, did all the stuff. And then naturally what happens, right, is what happens with a lot of games. The player base consumes the content so fast that you run out of things to do, right? The thing is, right, that Destiny Rising has something that aoem does not. They have replayable content, right? I will go in there day on day, day on end, every single day and put in multiple hours of work in that game because I can play the card game nonstop. I can do public events nonstop. I can play Shifting Sands and play, that's the PvP game mode, right? On the weekends, on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I can play the actual PvP mode nonstop. I can run dungeons nonstop. I can run, you know, bro, I can do all that content is replayable content. If I get in with a group of players, a group of friends in our community, I can play with them. When we have clan events, we can do it. When we have launch events, race, you know, race to finish, you know, we can do those. We can do live streams. We can do all that. aoem doesn't have any of that. And that's what we've been telling them nonstop. You have not given me one reason, and you as in devs have not given me one reason why I need to invest more than 10 minutes into your game daily. I can do my daily snap, and I'm out. And then I'm playing D Rising for 3 hours, 4 hours. Ask Kaifas. I guarantee you ready for this? I guarantee you that Kaifas probably spends more time on D Rising in a week than he does in a month on aoem. And that's on a week. And I know because I know he does all his dailies and does all his shit. Because there's a social aspect to it. I'm not saying that aoem can't get there, right? What I am saying is they aren't showing me that they are actively trying to do that. And that's the problem that we have right now, is that you aren't showing me a sneak peek of a new game mode that we can replay with our friends, whether they're in our kingdom or not, right? A repeatable game mode, a replayable game mode, right? There's just nothing. Right, I think Sneaky made his video and he was like, I finished the Halloween event in 2 hours. Bro, that Halloween event shouldn't have been able to be done in days. And homie did it in 2 hours. Like, they probably spent months of wasted time making that event for somebody to consume it in 2 hours. NetEase seems to have actually turned over a new leaf. So yeah, I know there was a lot of players that saw that it was made by NetEase and didn't even want to try it. But the reality is this: they are actively listening to their community. The Discord support actively gives support. The moderators actively support the community. If they can't, they send you to where you wouldn't need to go in order to get support. The one thing that I would say that they are kind of lacking on is their CC program a little bit, because it's still kind of makeshift. But that can be worked on, right? But outside of that, like, the game is replayable. The cosmetics aren't going to cost you an arm, a leg, and a testicle on your firstborn, right? You can get the pass for under $15 for the month, and the value that you get from that pass is insane. I could spend $15 in aoem and probably get like 5 hours of speed ups, if that, maybe a couple whistles. Boba migration this December. I see many packing their bags. Crazy. You ready? All right, hold on. Let me see. There's something I wanted to check. I don't have it on the screen real quick, but I wanted to check it real quick because I don't need to be on here. Okay. Okay, so GEE, MEE, GEE, MEE, DB. Okay. Okay, so the way it's lining up, Stellar will end 12/8. Which means the migration could happen after Stellar. Technically, ready for this? The same timeline that happened last time could technically still happen. What I mean by that, the last time migration happened, it happened the last week of PvP before the Stellar completed, which would technically be December 1st through the 7th is technically in December still. So when they said migration coming in December, it could still be on there. We won't know until what I've heard is the middle of November. So until then, we'll just have to assume the worst. We'll just have to assume the worst. I finished that in 15 minutes. Jesus Christ. I spent coins on VIP and maxed it out. I had that event done before most of my alliance was even online. Oh, true. Let me see. Not even that trash. Fuck rewards. LOL. They capping. Yeah. What game is that? Soul? It is Destiny Rising. Do you know what Destiny is? The game Destiny? It's a console PC game. Well, they made a version of it. They made a mobile version of it called Destiny Rising. It's a looter shooter. If you like looter shooters, you'll like it. What do I mean by looter shooters? I don't really know how to explain it. Destiny 2 would be the best explanation to it. Borderlands, I guess, is a looter shooter too, right? Stuff like that. Yeah. So it's a mobile looter shooter that you can play on emulator. If you play on emulator, get it on Mumu. Don't get it on BlueStacks. And don't get it confused with Mimu. It's Mumu. M-U-M-U. And if you do want to join us, we are in the EMEA server. You have to make sure you're on the same server because right now they haven't joined. So we'll get you in. Just hit me up on Discord if you're interested and you're hopping in. When Stellar season ends, you have 3 weeks before real PvP and it's KVK Imperial fight. Those weeks, the 3-week hiatus hurts a lot. Yeah, for sure, Scorchy. That's why, like, for me right now, I'm kind of filling in the void. I filled in the void with rock content and streams and other things. December 31st, it'll come out. Sky, that'd be kind of top tier, brain rot right there, brother. Because then, if you are buying, right? If you are migrating, don't forget. If you are migrating, you can double up on your bundles. The monthly pass that always comes out, like the pass. If you buy the extra pass, when you migrate, it automatically completes the pass for you, and then you can rebuy it again, so you can technically get the pass twice. You will also get a reset, assuming they haven't changed it. You will also get a reset on the Mulan and Leo bundles. I know I did. Yeah, I'm playing Warcraft 3 custom campaigns right now. Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. But yeah, no, if y'all have questions here, we'll open this up. I'll give it a couple of minutes for y'all to flood. If y'all have questions that y'all want me to answer, whether it's about AoEM, state of the game, questions specifically about CCs, programs, anything like that, feel free to, we'll do the Q&A section right here. And if y'all have anything for me, then I'll go ahead and answer all of it. If not, then we probably will just call it. I don't have very much AoEM. There's nothing to really stream on AoEM. I just wanted to chat, stay the game, talk about that, record some videos, and then we'll probably chop those up and release them. Current, I know this is probably the #1 question I keep getting asked. If I have plans on migrating. The honest answer is I haven't made a final decision. Part of it has to deal with, and this is coming from a real scenario. There is no growth opportunity for me in 42 if I can't stream not on a delay. There's just no growth opportunity for me. The other pain point, and this is the first time I'm saying this, I'm not going to point out names, and I'm not going to do name drop or anything like that, but first time I'm saying this on live stream, right? The reasons that I were given, like the points that I was given for the reason I was kicked makes no... While it is their prerogative to say it, right, to give a reason, to do all that, right, the issue that I have is you give me those reasons for why I was kicked, and then it's followed by the following week of streamers streaming with no delay showing chat, which is 2 of the reasons why I was kicked. So it starts to become an issue of It feels more like a power play than it does like an actual reason, if that makes sense. And that part is the part that probably rubs me the most wrong. Because the person that I agreed to the terms with was also the person that went and then broke all those rules as well. So I won't say a name, I won't do any of that, but that's the part that kind of is one of those like, I don't know. I'm not gonna get too deep into it. But it is one of those pain points. It's like that reflects more on a big dick move, if that makes sense to you, than it does like, hey, I want to work with you kind of deal. You know what I mean? That's a big dick kind of move, which, hey, to each their own. You know what I mean? Like every now and then, like at work, I'd pull the big dick move too, right? But the issue with pulling the big dick move is you can't walk that back. You know what I mean? Once you do that, you've immediately burned bridges. And at that point, it's like, cool. Like there's no hostility. There's no bad blood. But at the same token, like at that point, like don't expect me to give a shit. You know what I mean? So for the growth of the community, of my community, I don't know if I'm going to stay. Right? I have a lot of people, and don't get me wrong, this is the reason I hesitate so hard. There are a lot of people in 42 that I really like. They're the reason I came to 42 in the first place. They're still here. I don't think they have any plans of leaving. Not that I've heard of. And so that's what gives me some pull, right? They're still here. They're the reasons I'm doing it. But the biggest reason for me to do it is because there's no growth opportunity for the channel with 42 content. Because I could make bigger growth being out of 42, streaming 42, than being in 42. That's the reality, though, and that's the back and forth that I'm going through constantly. Right, y'all know I value the community a ton, and I have a lot of 42 supporters, which is one of the biggest. It's a big point, and I don't want to understate that, and I can't understate that enough. Right, y'all know how much I love my community, love y'all, and that's the biggest pull right now. Is that I will take the L if necessary for my community. I don't want to. Don't get me wrong. I don't want to. But I would, right? It's just a matter of whether I should, right? I feel like I think that the community members that love me and support me inside of 42 would support me even if I wasn't in 42. And that's the reality of it. They are real ones, right? Most of y'all that are here support me regardless of wherever the hell I go. And that is the real shit, right? Y'all are here because we're here to have a good time, chill, laugh, make some content, make some memes, and enjoy gaming. And that's it, right? I'm not Shroud. I'm not all these professional players. You're not going to get the highest end content in the game, but you will build a community here that you can rock with. And that's what I put my hat on every time. Real shit. So that will be the first and last time that I'll address that, because I know a lot of people keep asking me, and so I was going to address that. And that's the internal dialogue that's going on constantly right now. And I won't know probably until, honestly, probably till migration happens. It'll probably be coin flips, lots of little thought. And if I do leave, you'll know. That's the reality. It would be dumb of me not to make a video. Because at minimum, I would at least thank them. You know what I mean? There's no, like I said, there's no bad blood. Drama is keeping this game alive. Leak, leak, leak. No, I won't do names. I did give you the overall though. My Kingdom, we just entered season 4. Our first MGE is Ram. First wheel was Mansa Mehmed. Totally caught me by surprise. I was expecting Elizabeth for MGE and Cyrus. Is Cyrus 4? I thought Cyrus was 5. I think Cyrus is 5. Cyrus was 5, right? Pretty sure. Cyrus Tamir was last season for us. Is it? I don't even remember. I'm trying to remember all the order now. But you're a content creator. If you can't stream, then no point in staying. I can stream technically. You want me to show you? Look here, I'll show you in a second. The likelihood of me getting zeroed drastically raises up, but I can technically stream in 42. This is the account I used to use when I would stream 42 before I was in 42. I can technically still do it. Jesus Christ, holy pop-ups. I can still technically do it. The issue becomes, right? And this is where y'all in Kingdom, right? Caiaphas, all these in leadership, right? If you're in leadership, answer me this. And be honest, right? Be honest. If you had a content creator that wouldn't stream on a delay, right? But instead spent his time streaming on a mini account with no delay, but technically, right? Technically, all the agreement, the rules that were agreed upon are satisfied. Would you be upset because the CC would no longer be fighting in your wars in order to stream without a delay on a non-important meme account? That is the reason why I don't do this. I could have easily, here's the thing. I could have easily, oh, where'd the music go? Get stopped. Okay. I could have easily done this with 42 and 40 and gotten away with it. Because technically, I'm not showing markers, right? Because I'm not even in an alliance. So there's no need for a delay because I can't show anything, right? But at the same token, I'm also not fighting, right, on my main account because guess what? I can't be on it and stream on it. So guess what? This is the workaround for it. But now I'm never going to fight on stream, which could be hours and hours and hours of time. So I didn't do that because I'm pretty sure if people watch my stream and see that I'm still streaming 42, I'm just not playing in 42, but I still have my main account in 42, it's going to ruffle a lot of feathers. So I didn't do it. But technically I can. Content creating should be your #1 goal. It is. It is. Content creating isn't, well, I'll say this. Content creating is my #2 goal. My #1 goal is building a community. I know a lot of people say content should be king, content should be #1. Content isn't shit without a community. Okay, content creation isn't jack shit without a community. You need support. You need to build your supporters, your fans, your members, your all of that. Because when you grow that, everything else will grow. Here's a suggestion. Everyone who has Black Dragon shouldn't be able to migrate anywhere. Oh, shit. Please don't send me to Black Dragon jail. We did stream Kaifa's Black Dragon. We streamed 64s. That was funny. Y'all's DD, I was streaming it. I saw your Black Dragon, brother. The Black Dragon was real. It was big. I said that with my deep voice. It was big. It's a big dragon. That's too funny, bro. I was dying. It's like fucking Kaifas out here. And then probably the second most requested question is, if I do migrate, where am I going to go? I've had offers from some kingdoms, but like I said, I haven't selected anything. I haven't even communicated with anybody. I just know people have offered. And so far it was 4, Empire 4, Empire 5, 9, 62, and then one that was in 50, and I can't remember. There was one in 50. And those were just on stream. And then 40 was a long time ago, but I haven't like touched base. It was just Satesi reaching out. So we'll see. I haven't I'm not actively pursuing shit. Skippy just dropped? What Skippy just dropped? Skippy who? Skippy who? Skippy who? Oh, bro, pinche Vlad. Are you in beta? Your beta account? I'm so glad, Touch, that you're going to be spinning for heroes that we don't have yet. And then somehow y'all are going to be able to migrate into the main servers. Makes total sense. The logic is unreal. Wonder who we're gonna get, fam. Let me see real quick. Hold on. Let's check this out. Hold on. Let's go back here. Who do you think we're getting, chat? So we have. All right, so these are the servers we are in with. Who we getting GE with? I'll be honest with you. I kind of feel like we're gonna get 18. I think we're gonna get 46 in ME. But after that, who are we getting? I can't think, like, you ready for this? Like, let this sink in. Who do you see in the DD? In our DD, 42, 46, 18, and 11? That'd be like the biggest ones. I think those will probably be the highest scoring, but I also haven't looked at the scores. Dude, could we get somebody for GE in like the 181? Oh, God. We're going to be knocking on their doors. Welcome to aoem. Hold my jockstrap. Realm 1, LOL. Y'all want to know some funny shit? You ready for this? We got third place. We might have got third place in the last one, but now with our current bracket, we could still get the same rewards as, you know, an insane bracket. Let that sink in. There's no scale rewards. So if you made 8th place and you were in a stellar glory with a bunch of 8th place teams, you're still getting the same rewards as the bracket has all the first place teams. Let that sink in. Jesus Christ. I don't even know who we'd get, fam. I'll be honest with you. I don't know. So we're already in third place. Let's fucking go. Who's in the... Ooh, 182. Oh. Ooh. Interesting. Okay. 116, 88. Ooh. Guys, let's not stress out. Okay, let's not stress out. The devs, address the matchmaking in the latest dev column that it's going to be used based on activity and power and times. We're good. Realm 1, 19,000 score. Matchmaking working. Matchmaking is working, guys. Don't worry. We got it. We got it, fam. I'm sure they got this on lock. I have total confidence in them. I'm sure. Jesus Christ. Somebody look at that and tell me that matchmaking is fixed. Or that matchmaking's even exists. Doesn't even exist. Because even that, right? Let this sink in. You ready for it? You know how everybody was breaking them down? They're like, rank one, how they were lining up the stellars. Tell me, right, how that logic works where Realm 1 was anywhere in the remote top 3 of their stellar. And how they got put in this thing. I know 46 was top 3, I believe. And some of these might be, but I guarantee you in 19K, there's no way they were top 3. And so it goes back to a lot of words with no substance. There's no substance behind it. There's no knowledge. They're just a bunch of hot air coming out of their face. I'm in Realm 1. Good match. Oh, man. Mia, Lagatha, Mehmed, Yodit, Trib, Skippy. My 2 infantry marches are finally done. I don't even know, chat. I don't even know what to do with that. So I found that funny. So matchmaking is fixed. Hurrah. Let's celebrate. All right, fam. I think what we're going to do is we're going to call that a stream. Somehow, you ready for this? You ready for this, fam? Somehow I stretched that into almost a 3-hour stream. Guys, give me a like on the stream because I somehow made this into a 3-hour Age of Empires mobile stream without playing Age of Empires mobile. I didn't play a single fucking thing in the game and somehow I entertained y'all for 3 hours. I don't know if y'all know how tiring that is, but it's pretty exhausting. But time flies when you're having a lot of fun roasting some you know what I'm saying? But yeah, hopefully keep your eyes out for the videos. I'm gonna chop them up. It'll probably be is aoem dead? I'll probably change the thumbnail for this one, and then I'll do the breakdowns of snippets of all the points, and then kind of go through those. Make sure you keep your eyes out for them. If you enjoy all the content, do me a huge favor, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Join the Discord. Let me see. Join the Discord. And just a heads up, just so y'all know, fully transparent, like I always am. Our Aniba sponsorship, it didn't renew. We aren't renewing. And so if you are going to be using or using the link, support somebody else if you want to. And then when we get other sponsors, then we'll let you know. Okay. But I just didn't want y'all using the links and doing all that kind of stuff and then anything like that and it going to waste. Let's see. But yeah, I appreciate y'all, all the love, support y'all been showing to the channel. We are on the road to 7,500 subs. Help us get there. And maybe we'll have some rewards along the way. Maybe we'll have some rewards along the way. We'll have to create some thresholds. Maybe once we hit 6K and then we'll figure, and then maybe 7,500, we'll do something. But yeah, we're on the road there. So I appreciate y'all. Keep your eyes out. I probably will be streaming on the Bulbaritos Plays channel. If you don't know where it's at, hop on the Discord in the Bulbaritos links channel under Discord. It has all of our YouTube channel links. Go and drop subs on all those if you want to, and use the rules if you're interested in content, all that kind of sweet stuff, you know that. But season 2 is going to be coming out soon for Destiny Rising, so we'll probably be streaming that the launch day, seeing what's going on there, chilling, hanging out, having a good time. GEE, I'll see if I'm going to stream it. It's so sporadic. I don't really know. But then again, I just did a 3-hour stream where I just talked about nothing. So maybe we will. Who knows? But yeah, keep your eyes out. Hope you'll have a great rest of your day. Great rest of your night. Burrito Gang. We'll see you on the next one. Bye.